After Tottenham's 1-0 defeat at the London Stadium on Sunday, Tottenham are now down to 6th in the Premier League. Harry Kane's 250 Premier League appearances for Spurs. A former Spurs midfielder has come out and said that none of Tottenham's first team would get in the West Ham first team. And all of the team news for the Burnley game in the Carabao Cup this Wednesday. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. In today's video, I'll be going through all of the latest Tottenham news, all of the rumours and all of the reports. And if you don't subscribe to the channel as yet, please do hit that subscribe button. Just before I get into today's video, make sure that you download the OneFootball app for all of the live football scores, results and news, as well as getting all of the latest Spurs news on this channel. You can also see it all here. Download the OneFootball app to keep up to date with everything Tottenham Hotspur, club news, transfer news, match information, videos, tables and results from all around the world. Don't miss out, and please do let me know what you think of this app. So let's start today's video by talking about the results in the Premier League from Sunday afternoon. Brentford 1, Leicester City 2, West Ham United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, and Manchester United 0, Liverpool 5. Now, with that result at the London Stadium, Tottenham are now down to 6th in the Premier League. We have played 9, we have won 5, we have lost 4. We have a goal difference of -4, and we have 15 points. 2 points away now from West Ham in the top 4 with 17 points. 7 points away from Chelsea, who are top of the Premier League currently. Straight after the defeat at the London Stadium against West Ham United, Harry Kane said we have to learn from it and move on from it. We've got plenty of games coming up. And head coach Nuno Espirito Santo said we're disappointed like everyone, like our fans. It's always tough to lose a match like this. Tottenham Hotspur's next Premier League fixture is this Saturday coming at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Manchester United, who of course just lost 5-0 at Old Trafford against Liverpool. But we will be in Carabao Cup action this Wednesday coming at Turf Moor away at Burnley in the 4th round. Now, my thoughts on the West Ham game on Sunday and, of course, our upcoming games against Burnley and Manchester United. Well, Sunday's game, I tell you what, I was very, very disappointed yet again. And it has been a very dismal and disappointing season so far. It really has. You know, I think the league position at the moment flatters us, you know, to be in 6th place. You know, we've played 9, we've won 5 and we have lost 4. And the 4 games that we have lost, I'm finding it really, really hard to come to terms with the lack of passion, the lack of grit and determination in games. They have all of these defeats have come in London derbies. Away at Crystal Palace, losing 3-0. At home against Chelsea, losing 3-0. Away at Arsenal, losing 3-1. And then, of course, away at West Ham, losing 1-0. I think Nuno Espirito Santo, you know, I was very surprised by his comments yesterday. You know, a journalist asked him, did Tottenham lack creativity? And Nuno said, no. And he doesn't believe that we're lacking creativity at the moment. I think we're sat 19th in the Premier League table for shots on target and chances created. And I think that we are really lacking a lot of creativity right now. I found it frustrating on Sunday, the fact that we keep passing the ball sideways all of the time in midfield and defensively. The amount of times that the ball just went across to the back 4, time and time again. And we just want to see the ball move forward and trying to create opportunities. That just didn't happen. As I say, I'm just very, very disappointed right now with the season so far. The only thing that I'm holding any hope onto at the moment is that we can perhaps go far in a cup competition. And that brings me on to talking about Wednesday's game at Turf Moor against Burnley. Of course, Nuno made 11 changes against Vitesse Arnhem in the Europa Conference League on Thursday, rested all of the players for the West Ham game. And of course, we have lost both games. So Burnley on Wednesday, you know, is a big game. It's a game that I hope that we will win and go through to the 5th round of the Carabao Cup. Of course, we got to the final last year. But I'm hoping that Nuno Espirito Santo will put out a fairly strong side against Burnley on Wednesday, get the job done. We go in the 5th round. And then, of course, on Saturday, we face Manchester United. and they will want a reaction. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still their manager on Saturday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, then he will obviously want a reaction. Players like Ronaldo will want to see the reaction as well. I think that will be a very, very difficult game. So, a couple of big games and another big week for Spurs, and I'm hoping and praying that we get 2 results in both of these games. In the defeat against West Ham on Sunday afternoon, Harry Kane has become only the 7th player in our history to play 250 Premier League games for us. Now up to 348 appearances in our colours, Harry Kane has 253 career Premier League appearances under his belt overall, having played 3 top-flight games on loan at Norwich City in the 2012-2013 season. Hugo Lloris is the only player in the current squad to have played at least 250 games for us in the Premier League. He recently surpassed 300 games in the division and is now on 307 after Sunday's match. Eric Dyer and Heung-min Son have played over 200 Premier League games for us and are the closest to Harry's total at the moment. Now, players to have played 250 plus times for us in the Premier League are as follows: Hugo Lloris 307, Darren Anderton 299, Jermaine Defoe 276, Ledley King 268, Aaron Lennon 266, Sol Campbell 255, and now Harry Kane 250. Now, current players nearest to 250 Premier League appearances for us are as follows: Eric Dyer 211, Heung-min Son 205, Dele Alli 177, and Ben Davies 149. Former Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Jamie O'Hara has been talking on TalkSport all about Tottenham's defeat at West Ham at the weekend. He said it's a London derby and it is the 4th team we have lost to. No positives to me whatsoever. It's ridiculous. I don't know if these players realise what it means to Spurs fans to win your games in London. O'Hara then went on to say we wasn't good enough. That's the fact. West Ham were comfortable. First half we looked okay. We moved it and passed it all right. We created a couple of good chances. Heung-min Son had a really good chance where he should have scored. But in the second half we didn't have a shot. So how can you come out and say that there are positives to take from a game when you don't even have a shot in the second half of a match? That is not good enough with the players that we have. We just have a distinct lack of creativity. The number 10 position is a massive problem for us. I don't think Tanguy Ndombele is good enough. He does things in dribs and drabs, really. He will do something out of the blue where you think he has got something and then he goes missing for 15 minutes. O'Hara then went on to say creativity is a huge problem for us. We haven't replaced Christian Eriksen and he went off the boil for half the season because he wanted out. It's almost like we've had 3 seasons without a really good number 10 and Spurs have always had a brilliant creative player in there. You go back to Rafa van der Vaart and Luka Modric and players like that. O'Hara then said as well, which I don't understand, when these players are getting paid an absolute fortune, they can't take a corner. The amount of times we get in a good position and get a set piece and they hit the first man. It is almost embarrassing for a player to hit the first man. It is Mickey Mouse, amateur, to not be able to take a corner. O'Hara was then asked on TalkSport whether any Tottenham Hotspur players would get into the West Ham team. And he said, I look at Spurs and I want to criticise the team, but really and truthfully, I look at the team and wonder if any of them would actually get into West Ham's team. And the answer is no. Now, my thoughts on this, it's very hard to try and defend some of these performances at the moment. But, right at the end when Jamie O'Hara said that none of these Spurs players would get into the West Ham team, I think that is a bit much. I think that there are a fair number of players that would get into the West Ham team without question. But, the other comments from Jamie O'Hara, you just can't argue with it at all. It is not good enough. Someone said behind me at the game on Sunday, when a corner was taken, even by Heung-min Son, who is absolutely brilliant most of the time, a couple of his corners were shocking. And, a couple of people shouted out, oh, it's like having Christian Eriksen back in that season where he was poor. But it's so frustrating at the moment. So many improvements need to be made. And, we've got to have a good week. We have got to turn this round and fast. Starting with a win at Burnley on Wednesday and then going on and winning at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday against Manchester United. On Monday afternoon, an article was published by the Evening Standard, and they are providing some team news ahead of the Burnley game in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. It states Ryan Sessegnon is expected to be Tottenham's only injury absentee as he continues to work his way back from a hamstring problem, and Matt Doherty could return to the squad. They have also given a probable 11 for the game. They are going with Golini in goal, and then they're going for the back four of Davis, Sanchez, Romero and Tanganga. In midfield, Oliver Skipp, Giovanni Lo Celso, Stephen Bergwijn, Dele Alli, Brian Hill and Harry Kane up front. Now, my thoughts on that team, if this is correct, I think it is the right choice to play players like Harry Kane, to play first team players like Christian Romero, and I've been very, very impressed with Christian Romero so far. He looks the real deal, looks a really good defender for us going forward. And I think that this is exactly what we needed to do last week against Vitesse Arnhem. I know a lot of people are not in favour of this competition, the Europa Conference League, but to win matches, I believe that I'm all for Nuno Espirito Santo giving players opportunity that don't get a lot of first team minutes. But when they get those minutes, they have got to take opportunities. And just to have as a backup, even on the bench, like Vitesse Arnhem last week, you imagine if we had someone like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg or Heung-min Son, players like that on the bench that we could have brought on in the second half and added that little bit more spark, a little bit more protection in the game as well. So if this is, if this probable team is correct, I think it is the right decision just by putting a few first team players in there and getting the job done. Because Wednesday's game in the Carabao Cup, I think is very, very important. Tottenham fans are very, very frustrated right now, and another defeat in, certainly in the Carabao Cup, because it would mean that we would be out of the competition. I don't think a lot of Tottenham Hotspur fans would take it, because there are a lot of people criticising Nuno heavily at the moment. Before I go, I would just like to tell you about some wonderful beer mats that I've very kindly been sent from Beers From The Lane. You can go over and follow them on Instagram, Beers From The Lane, and on Twitter, Beer From The Lane. They are wonderful beer mats, all Tottenham Hotspur related. This one here, you will see Ozzy's Dream, some personal favourites, King's Lager, Ledley King's signature on there. You've got Pierre-Emile Højbjerg beer, Klinsmann, my favourite player. Nice one, Sonny. And of course, Super Nuno here. There are loads of Tottenham-related beer mats. A wonderful collection. A must for all Tottenham Hotspur fans. Do check them out on social media and place your order. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do let me know all of your thoughts and comments in the comment section below on everything I've spoken about in today's video. If you don't subscribe to the channel as yet, please do hit that subscribe button. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, come on you Spurs.